Hey guys, how you all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So this is our TD Sequential look at the wider markets. We're not going to look at any individual companies today because they aren't open, because the US stock exchange isn't open. So we'll save that until tomorrow. So yeah, if you guys could just hit the like for me, please, that would be amazing. I'm being told that I need to ask you guys to ask anything else other than just hit the like button, and that apparently really helps the algorithm on YouTube. So right, over to the charts. So S&P, you can see on the daily, this is looking like we're going to basically break through the 200. It's like now or never for the S&P. I do feel like yeah, we've been talking about getting squashed here between the 200 and the 21. So yeah, we've got to make a move, and we've got another 3 days left on this green count to potentially get to a 9. So could we see a pop up to the 786? I mean, it's quite a big move, but I mean, we could see it. I mean, we've had moves like this in one day anyway. So yeah, and then maybe see what happens around that level. You can see we've got some horizontal importance around there as well. So yeah, that's potentially on the cards. Failing that, I mean, if we do break down again, we are running out of space here. So if we do get below the 21, that could signal a move. Well, maybe down to the 50, maybe down to the 0.5 fib, maybe the 382. But obviously markets are strong at the moment, so you just have to go with the trend. Let's look at the 4 hour, see what we can see on the 4 hour. Anything of note? Yeah, we're not quite near this, not getting up to this 9 count. The 9s do work quite well on the 4 hour. The 4 hour chart is a good one, I think, for using the TD Sequential across all markets. So yeah, maybe another day or so. Well, it's not a day or so, is it? 4 times 4 is 16. Will get us to a 9, so 16 hours time. We could potentially get to a 4 hour 9 and have a bit of a retrace. Let's look at the hourly. I don't really trade too much or look at the hourly too much. I mean, as you can see, it doesn't get as the biggest moves. It maybe holds up price for a bit, but yeah, this is why I don't really look at the hourly. I don't really look at anything lower than the 4 hours. You guys will probably know. I'm not going to look at oh yes we are. We'll look at US oil on the hourly. It's obviously okay at the moment. We're not getting stuck with that big wick down. But yeah, 4 hour. So we've got on the 4 hour. It's an important time frame. But yes, you can see we had the nice 9 at the top there. Blew through a few 9s here, a 9 here that's held up price action. So you can see the 4 hours pretty good. Yeah, looking pretty strong here again. We looked like we were coming to try and test the 50, but couldn't get there. The bears didn't have the strength to get us there. So we're back above the 21, hugging the 21, and I would expect this just to keep moving up. I mean, the trend is your friend. Daily is going to be a bit skewed by the massive wick, so it's a bit difficult to read this. But actually, the daily, this was the a couple of days ago. If I can get us back to the price, yeah. So this was on the 22nd. So last Friday we had the 9. It's not a very bearish looking candle, but I mean, it's hard to, with such a low wick, it's kind of hard to put on an actual trade here based on the breaking of that lower wick. But I would maybe say, yeah, it's hard for me to put a sell trade here in oil, just because of the weakness that we showed and we were bought back up. I mean, being conservative, I would maybe look at this as sort of a horizontal area in oil. So we'll maybe put on a line here. As you can see, a line there. We'll extend this out a little bit this way too, and we'll get rid of the arrow. So potentially, I think if we do break down on oil below this level, then yeah, I mean at the very least maybe around here, we could maybe expect to get, so around the 50 period. So we'll leave that on there, see what happens in oil. We'll leave that up as a potential trade we are eyeing up. Yeah, sort of head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders of sorts. I mean, we're nowhere near the target for that. I mean, and that's not even including the rest of, yeah. But yeah, so that's sort of the neckline of that. If we break back below that neckline of that inverted head and shoulders, I think we would see some weakness. I mean, short term, I mean, the first target will be here. We'll have to then assess it as we go along. USO, so we had this trade joining on USO, so I'm guessing this was from a 4 hour chart. I'm guessing we've got a 4 hour 9 here. Yes, we did indeed. So yeah, this was it. This was the level, break below there, potential sell trade, but clearly we haven't broken, so no trade activated. Yeah, one thing I'll say about these sorts of trades, these confirmations, you breaking the line, and then that's when we take the trade. I mean, it's like you got to wait for the confirmation of the trade before you take it. So I mean, it doesn't matter that it does this. I mean, this is fine. Price action can do this and keep going, and we just don't take a trade, and it's not a problem. But yeah, we have to wait for confirmation. There's no point in taking it beforehand, because like, look, obviously this sort of thing can happen. So right, over to gold. Gold on the 4 hour. We do like gold on the 4 hour. So yeah, you can see we did draw this trade on. I know it looks great. Caught it perfectly. We drew this line when we had this 9. This is what I targeted, said potentially a bounce off there. I mean, this looks fantastic. As great as it looks, I'm going to have to remove it now. Even though obviously it just it just looks good, doesn't it? It looks good that I drew that and it was on there, but we're going to remove it because we can't have it cluttering our chart. But I just give myself a little pat on the back. Well done, Dan. What a great call. You've all seen it. So yeah, so smash that like if you haven't, because you got to like those trades. But anyway, so we had the little bounce. Again, we're getting pinned below the 21 on the 4 hour and the well, both all of them actually. We're getting pinned between the 21 and the 50. I'd probably say more notably the 21, and then also held up by the 200. So what I'm definitely looking at here, guys, we'll have a look, see if we've got any daily counts. But what I'm looking at here is a potential pullback in gold. I don't really know where to, but I just think if we do break this 200 on the 4 hour, we'll be having a move down. Let me have a look at this on the daily. Well, the 12 hour and the daily first, just to see. Yeah, we're coming towards a 12 hour now, which could bounce us a bit. And the daily, we're holding the 21. So it will pretty much coincide with the break of the 21 also. So this would be a good target, I think, then. So we'll be looking at 16, about 1680. So we'll draw this on now, because I do believe this is a potential trade idea in the making. So we'll draw this line across here. This is this is the sort of horizontal area that area of support we're looking to break. It's coinciding with moving averages. It's not just horizontal support. And then yeah, maybe a move down to well, we'll put it around here. Put it around there. That's where I'd be expecting initially. These are obviously the initial move. We'll have to assess the market when we get there. Let's look how this coincides in the 4 hour. It's still, yeah, it's going to look, it's basically what I roughly would have drawn. What I wasn't too sure about was where I was going to draw the target, but yeah, that does line up with a lot of horizontal here, a lot of horizontal support. So maybe that is a pretty good target. Let me just look at it in the daily. So how did it, yeah, so yeah, it's all this horizontal support. So you can see it a lot more clearly on the 4 hour. Which is great. Yeah, we can see it a lot more clearly, this horizontal support. So yeah, so yeah, that's what I would be targeting. Again, if we break below here, that's what I'm targeting. So basically a break of around 1720, 1719 should probably take us down to basically around the 1690 area. So that's what I'm looking at for the next gold trade. Let's have a look at silver. Looks like silver faked us out. I think we may have discussed this before. We must have had this line drawn. Presumably the arrows here, so we had it. So yeah, so obviously silver's faked us out. We had a 4 hour 9 here that traded quite well. I don't know why I wouldn't have had to trade off this. This would obviously be from a daily 9. Yeah, I mean, if you would trade this was right. Okay, let me just tell you something, guys. This was a daily trade based off a daily 9, and this is a daily line. So the actual confirmation of this trade would be a daily close above below the line. So we've only had wicks below, so that has not actually activated the trade, because it's in a daily time frame trade. So we wouldn't be in this trade, so we wouldn't have been wicked out of it at all. So just, I'll take that back. I said that based on the 4 hour chart. But yeah, but if we do break below, again, targets are the same. We're still looking down here. What I will do, I won't delete this line. But obviously we haven't broke it yet, so I put this one on here. So because obviously we've got a slightly different target now, because the 200, the 21 has moved up a bit. So we'll leave that there. What I want to show you though on the 4 hour chart is that this is the daily. If we were going to take the trade off the 4 hour chart, the 4 hour chart here, this was the 9, so your line would have been across here below the 9. You would have then gone under that, taken the trade, and you'd be in profit. So that's what I'm saying. You can ignore the fact this is closed because this is the 4-hour close, not a daily close. But your 4-hour trade would have been here. So you would have been selling here, and then you would have been in a nice profit down here, hoping to accelerate as we got down below this level, because this is a high time frame support, as we know. That's what's drawn on there, the daily one. And then we could have accelerated downside, but we didn't. So you probably would have hit a trailing take profit. And that's how you trade, guys. That's how you trade the TD. Right, gold silver ratio. Let's have a look. Gold silver ratio. Come on, guys. Can we just get under 100? Let's get under 100. 4 hour. Obviously, this is not necessarily something we trade. This is just something we keep an eye on. Something I keep an eye on, especially. Nothing really to do here. Look like we're bear flagging it out a bit. Moving it, yeah, supported by the 21. Regaining 21, supported by the 21. But I imagine we're going to come and get hammered by the 50 at some point. Daily. These are some very bearish looking candles on the daily. So we had the 9 on the daily, which we were talking about. We sort of got, I mean, this is a sort of 9 where it holds us in our tracks. It doesn't necessarily reverse the price or anything, but it's held us in our tracks. And now we've got 2 very bearish daily looking candles. I believe this is just today's one. So yeah, there's still still 10 hours left to go of this one. So it's only just over half a day. But these long upper wicks are bearish, so I would maybe expect a break below here. We'll draw it on. Not that we trade this, but I mean, this is basically the sell level. It's quite simple, really. You guys could have worked that out. And then, yeah, down to the 200 being the target. There we go. We'll have that on there. Right, one last thing we're going to look at. One of my faves. One of my, just the gift that doesn't stop giving, copper. Again, we had the channel. We had this drawn out beforehand. Just textbook, picture perfect. 4-hour trade. Look, 4 hours on the 4 hours on copper. I mean, you can take the buys and sells. One of my trading partners, I might call him that. It's not, obviously I'm not gay. It's just a trading buddy. You know, those people that you bounce ideas off. He's also taking the longs. So he did take this long off this 4-hour 9. So he's in a long trade here, which is doing well. I'm only taking the shorts because I am bearish and fundamentally of copper. So I obviously took this short, this short, and this short. These are the shorts that I took on the 4-hour. This obviously was a 9. So yeah, 3 trades. But though, there's nothing wrong with trading the. I mean, I'm wrong on the overall trend. We are basically going up. So there was a nice 9 here. That was a nice buy. There was there a 9 down here? There wasn't actually. Oh, there's an 8. So we nearly got to a 9. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on here. And then we had a nice 9 down here. So we are getting that 9s off the bottom, and I mean, you can just simply draw the trend line and trade the channel. Back in the day when I used to trade oil a lot, when oil didn't used to be as insanely volatile, I did used to have these nice channels on in oil, and we just traded the channels, and it was the easiest. They were just the easiest trades in the world, guys. I mean, it was just like this is basically a cash machine trade. This is what you look for in markets. You want a channel, you want the TD 9s on the 4-hour ideally coming up. I mean, dailies are good, but they're just a bit, like you can see, you're not going to get to 9s a lot of the time on the daily. I mean, there is not a single daily 9 here. So you zoom it down to a shorter term time frame. 4 hours perfect. You get you basically get you get 6 4-hour candles in a 24-hour period. That is correct. So yeah, you've got plenty of time to get to these 9s, and they usually trade well. I mean, this one, obviously, it's sort of, you had the bearish reversal candle, you had the 9, but you're middle of the channel, middle of the trends. You're not expecting us to all of a sudden come back down to the bottom there. I mean, actually, in all fairness, that is a lie, right? At that point, I mean, this is probably why this 9 nearly worked, because when you're only viewing this here, when you're only viewing this here, we haven't got a fully established channel yet. So we are looking at, like, we've sold off, we've got a bit of a bounce, are we then going to come back down again? So that's probably why that 9 did get sold into, because I was looking at that from that perspective. But yeah, apologies guys. But yeah, but now I've got this nice established channel. It's just happy days. This is the sort of thing you look for when you're trading. This sort of thing, and you just make hay whilst the sun shines. Anyway, so that brings us to the end of the video. So thanks a lot for listening to that, guys. Remember, just hit the likes if you like this video, and I will speak to you guys soon. Oh yeah, one more thing. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not actually a cash machine. I'm just making stuff up. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon.